Hi guys, thanks for joining me today. Hope you're having a great day. I'm having a fab day, and if you only just got up, I hope you have a great day. This is a pen and ink sketch drawn with lots of hatching techniques, and it was a study really. I just wanted to try using lots of different techniques. So what I've done, I've recorded this in real time, and I've explained every technique that I've used on the way, so hopefully you'll find it useful. So let's get right into it. Right, what I'm going to do, I am in Procreate, and I want to draw in symmetry because I'm going to draw the body of a guitar. It's not 100% symmetrical in the photo I'm working from, but I'm going to start with symmetry just to help me out a little bit. So to switch that on, I'm going to the spanner. I've got canvas selected. I've got drawing guide on, and I'm going to go to edit drawing guide and choose symmetry. And I don't want it in the middle, exactly in the middle. I want to move it off to one side, maybe about there, and I can tilt it a little bit. That's interesting because my guitar is not perfectly straight, only a tiny little bit. So I'm going to go with that. That seems all good. So I'm going to click done. And what I'm going to do today, I want to do a pen and ink drawing with lots of hatching in, and I'm going to show you how I use the hatching. But before I get into the pen and ink, I want to start off with a pencil drawing just to get the shapes, because the guitar is not the easiest thing, I don't think, to draw. So I'm just sort of getting my head around that shape first, and then I can go over it with the pen once I've got it sort of blocked in. This guitar, in actual fact, that I'm drawing, I made. I went to a night class about, 25 years ago. And I was at the class. It took me 2 years to make this guitar, and it's been my main guitar, acoustic guitar, ever since. I mean, my main guitars are always bass guitars because I play the bass most of the time. That's pretty dreadful. Let's tidy this up a bit. Having symmetry on it is great because I've only got to draw one side of the thing. Is that looking about right? I'm sort of. I think that is. Oops. There. And once I've got this drawn in and I've got the symmetry switched off, I'm going to have to move this slightly. I've got it a little bit in the wrong place. This is helping me. Putting this in, I can realise now that once I put this sound hole in, I've got this way wrong. Well, actually, no, I haven't. I've got it way wrong in as much that it's more like that. Yeah, that's kind of better. That's more like my guitar. Just scrub some of these lines out. Oh, I might not have to move it now then, because now I've reduced the size at the bottom, is pretty much where I want it. Just got to think about this a little bit. This layer, I'm going to, I should put this on a separate layer and knock the opacity back before I start the ink drawing. It does save a lot of time, I have to say, using the symmetry tool. I think that is the symmetrical. Oh no, it isn't. I've just got to do the bridge. That's about right, I think. That all is way too big. It's a bit more like that. That's better. Yep, get that in there. It's a lot of fun. I used to go one night a week to this class. My brother went with me and another mate. A friend built a ukulele. Me and my brother built guitars. I was actually teaching watercolour painting at the same school. There we go. That's the symmetry bit done, so I need to switch symmetry off now. So go to the drawing guide and switch that off. And I should be able to put the pick guard in on its... Oh. Maybe I need to... That surprised me. What's going off here? Edit drawing guide. I'm just going to change it back to 2D. And then disable it. Oh, what am I doing? Does that work? Oh my word. I thought I was a power user. 2D, good. Assisted drawing, that's what I want to switch off. Assisted drawing. Let's rub all this out. It's still not playing. Look, the eraser's not moving. What have I not done now? Oh, I've still got the drawing guide on. Is that? What? To the... Still switched on. Oh, did I not click done? That's better. I got it. Back on track. Sorry about that. Right. Pick guard in. So I'm going to finish off the drawing, and then a little bit later I will get back into the hatching of the drawing and how I'm going to go about that. Right, so that's my pencil drawing done. I am going to knock the opacity of that down to, let's say, 25%, and then I'm going to create a new layer and I'm going to change my brush now. I'm going to go to from the 6B pencil, I'm going to go to inking, and I'm going to choose the Studio pen, and you'll see that gives me a nice black mark. So if I was doing a traditional drawing, I would get this sketch in, and then I would immediately start working on the blacks. So what I want to do is get all of the black areas filled in. So I'm not hatching at this point, and this is exactly how I do pen and ink drawings. I always start off getting in these blacks. That's a bit heavy, that line. And I'm looking at the drawing and I can see that that's not completely in darkness. I'll leave a little bit of highlight there, but it will get filled in later. I suppose I could. I don't know whether to take this guitar neck out of the page or leave it like that. I think I'm going to leave it like that because I can always crop it back a bit when I've done. I know I can kind of go like this and get a nice straight edge. There we go. I do consider that to be a little bit cheating, perhaps. Although I could get a rule, I suppose, if I wanted to, if I was doing this traditionally. Just taking my time. And I could also put the curve feature on, you know, the way it sort of tidies up edges and things if I really wanted to. Now this is the guitar strap, and there's a little bit of light on the right hand side of the strap as I'm looking at it, so I'm going to leave that like that. And then I'm going to fill all of this piece in black. I could leave a few little white bits if I wanted, like that. That might be quite nice. Shaking a bit here. That's better. I'm just wondering whether I should add a little bit of smoothness to this. Because of the wobble of the glass. I'll try not to. There we go. I may need to put the smoothness on a bit, perhaps. So I'm going to continue now and just crack in all of these black areas. So that is all of the black done, or the shadows I should say, not the black, because it's all going to be black. So now I can start thinking about the outline before I start etching. So I'm going to take my brush down. I am going to put a little bit of smoothing on if I can. I've never ever used smoothing really, to be honest. So I don't know where that is. I guess it's under stroke. Maybe it's not. Could it be under dynamics? Nope. Pencil. Smoothing, here we go. I just want, I'll put it up to 20% so you can see what that looks like. If you don't know what smoothing does, I'll zoom in so you can see. If I make a squiggly line, I don't know if you can see, I need to exaggerate it so you can see it. Let's take that smoothing right up to 97%. It smooths the line out. I don't know if you can see that or not. But you don't want it at 100% because it will start to affect your lines to the point where it doesn't go where you want it to go. So I'm going to begin by putting this guitar neck in. I'm going to do it with straight lines. That might be a little bit thick, so I need to just shrink the size down a little bit. Something like that's better. Maybe even a bit more than that. Actually, you know, I quite like that organic look. That's perhaps a bit too organic. Let's try again. Yeah, I prefer that look, to be honest. And then we've got the end of the neck there like that. Oh, a bit wobbly. I prefer the sort of the organic look, and when I mean organic, I mean all the wobbles of my shaky hand. So what I'm going to do here, you can see on the photo the strings like reflecting the light and they look white, so I'm going to use the eraser to put them in. And if I was doing this in a traditional media, I would probably use, well, I would use a white pen. So if we look at the hole inside the guitar, it goes from dark at the top right to sort of lighter in the middle. So I'm going to start etching this in. And I'm going to have the lines closer together and then spread them out a little bit as I'm coming down. And I'll probably etch this 4 or 5 times. If you're doing it in colour, you can sort of change the colours up each time. And you don't have to go right the way across either. You can kind of go like that, where I've got gaps. And by doing the cross hatching, we're effectively shading. And if I was sort of shading trees or leaves, I would be doing scribbles. I wouldn't even be doing this. Maybe just a few more. In the middle like that, some vertical ones. So in the end, you almost lose the cross hatching and you just get a series of dots. But when you zoom out, it gives you the desired effect, and I need to make that look a bit darker as well. Might put some horizontal ones in there. So I've kind of done the inside of the guitar, and I'm going to do the neck as well. I'm going to hatch it all in and then use white to put in the frets. The frets are the little horizontal lines. I mean, you could do this really neat look, but I'm deliberately making them go slightly different angles and things, just so you see I don't worry too much about stuff like that. This is my own take on this, by the way. I've not read any books or watched any other YouTubers or anything on how to hatch. This is just how I've developed over the years. Well, I pretty much developed it doing Inktober 2 years ago, and all those videos are actually on this channel. That they're drawn with traditional media now. They're not digital, and if you watch those, you'll see how my style kind of developed over the month. So it really is worth doing Inktober, and I can also make some of these lines thicker. And obviously, the closer together you put them, the darker that they appear. It is a very time-consuming way of drawing, but I think very therapeutic. I need some horizontals, I think. And you can see that it's starting, you're losing that hatched effect, and now it's looking like a solid shape. There we go. I did say I was going to start off with the outline, didn't I? And then I promptly didn't do that. Oh, I'm just trembling over the glass. That's better. I have to say that symmetry really made drawing the guitar very easy. Notice I turn the canvas around so I can use my wrist like the point of a compass. There we are. I mean, it's not super neat, but when I've got all the hatching in, you're not going to see that, I don't think. So let's do, I'm still doing all the darks. I could get this bit in here. I could even let those lines sort of go over that bit. Yeah, let's do the bridge. I'm sure there's people that do inking in for cartoons are looking at this and they're saying, that's dreadful, it's really wobbly, but I'm not an artist that does cartoons or inking in or anything like that. I just sketch as an end product that hopefully is seen as a piece of fine art. I'm not suggesting this drawing's fine art, but I hope you know what I'm trying to say. I shape way too much to do it inking in on a comic or anything like that. It's something that the old family has got this thing where we shake, and personally I can't carry a cup and saucer anywhere. If I do, I invariably drop it straight away. The cup would just fly across the room. So I'm looking at these nuts and not nuts, pegs. Sorry. What I'm going to do, I'm drawing them in. I'll zoom in so you can see it a little bit better. I'm kind of putting an highlight on them. And then to make them look darker and grey, I'm going to hatch over them. Whoops, a bit thick that line, sorry. Just like that, look. And by hatching over them, it knocks the value back. Hopefully it will. When I zoom out. Yeah, there we are. And now I can use the eraser to put in the, I don't know, the plastic bit that the strings, I think it's called the saddle, the strings sit on. And I'm using an eraser instead of a white pen, because if you did this drawing with a transparent background and saved it as a PNG, you could, because you're erasing everything out and not using white, you're just left with a black image. You could then upload that image to, say, Redbubble or another print service and have the image printed onto a t-shirt of any colour you like, and the black would show up, but not the white. You know, you would see the colour of, say you're printed on a yellow shirt, you'll see the yellow through where I've just erased that saddle. So that's a worthwhile tip, I think. Right, let's do the pick guard. Now this pick guard is actually removable from the guitar. My bro made it for me because he's got a sign company, and he was experimenting with some new materials, some new vinyl materials with like a suction thing on the back of it. So you can like put this pick guard on and peel it off when you get fed up with it and change it. He never actually marketed it. He did the prototypes, and this is one of them, but he never actually got around to selling the pick guards, which is, I think, was a bit of a shame really, because I think they were really cool. Because you just sort of stick them on and they stay there. They're very resilient, and then when you're fed up, you just peel them off, and they've got these little suction things on the back. And they come away really easy. Now, I'm just wondering whether I should draw the skull on this. I think I should. I think if I didn't, I would be letting you down. And I kind of know that this pick guard is a slightly different shape than the photograph now. I should have done this in pencil, I suppose. But I'm not going to. I only want an impression, really. I don't want to get an exact likeness. But I've kind of got to make sure that it fits in with the style. I've got etching there. I've got the teeth. So I need to just lift that out. And this one's tidying up as well, actually. I think I was forgetting that I was doing a pen and ink. Putting these roses in. Notice I'm using sort of random hatch lines now for this. I'm not doing it the same as the sort of straight edges of the neck of the guitar and so on. We've got this kind of rose shape there, and I can do that with some thick lines like that, and same like that. And we've got one here. And then I can hatch all of this in, going over the roses. And hopefully we will get the desired effect. So I've now gone back to hatching with the straight lines. Now I've done a little drawing on it, same as everything else. And I want this really, really dark, because this bit is actually almost jet black. this pointed bit at the top. I need to undo them. At this point, I do want these lines to kind of be parallel to a certain degree, not necessarily perfect, but so I can up the line thickness now. And start getting some of these blacks in and almost black the whole thing out. It's kind of alright, isn't it? I could use the warp tool, I guess, to tidy that up a bit. Shall I do that? I would if I could remember how to do it. Is it under here? That's not it. Liquify, here we go. I don't want a massive size. Just sort of push that skull up and down a bit. Yeah, I kind of think that's a bit better. Yeah, there we go. So back to the drawing. Have I still got the thick pen? Yeah, I have. Cool. So I'm sort of going from the darkest to the next darkest, then to the mid-tones, and then finally I will put in all of the highlights. Here I can leave hardly any gaps at all up. I can use that eraser to tidy up. I think this has lost a curve a little bit because of the liquify tool I was doing. Right, I'm going to continue now and do some more hatching, and I'll get back to you shortly. I think it's worth mentioning here that I'm following the contours of the body of the guitar. now the guitar, I'm going to start off with just vertical strokes on this one, because I want to kind of give the impression that it's the grain of the wood. So I don't want lots and lots of horizontal strokes or diagonal strokes or anything like that. And I'm going to try and get all of the effects with controlling the thickness of the pen, and also the gaps between the lines. And I'm not worried that the lines aren't straight, because it's the grain on the wood, and they don't have to all be the full length of the guitar. I think that's working nicely. I like it. When I want that, I'll probably go in and put the darker bits in after I've done the whole thing. So again, I'm just going to continue and fill this body of the guitar in. Right, so that is the main lines put in, and I'm looking at the photo again, and I do feel it needs a few horizontal lines because of the grain in the I think it's maple. I'm just putting a few darks in, but I'm going to put a few horizontal lines in, and hopefully they will look like the figure grain in the wood. In fact, if you look, we've got dark lines and then a lighter mark above it. So I think I should take the eraser, zoom in a little bit, and then just rub a little bit of the lines away above these. I'm hoping that's going to give that figure grain look. I don't know, I'm just hoping and guessing. To me, from here, it looks as though it might work. Oh yeah, I think that works all right. I think I need to put a few more in. There's a few along here. And here like this. Notice on this bit how I am hatching thick lines so that the thick black that I painted earlier on blends into it almost like a graduation. I'm going to do the same on the top here. So it sort of fades into it almost. Right, just put these scratches on, and then when I put them in, I'm going to hatch over them. With a much finer line, probably too fine that. So you can see I'm hatching over these white lines, and that will adjust the value, make them look grey instead of sharp white against the black. We're getting there, we are getting there. Same with this bag now. I could have a thicker line actually. And because this is in the foreground as well, just a little bit, I'm using thicker lines on it. So, I've done this drawing because somebody has asked me if I would do a more detailed piece on hatching. So that's why I've done it. But what I want to ask you is if you've got any ideas for a video that you'd like to see me do, I'd love to see it in the comments, because it helps me out so much knowing what you want to see, rather than me sort of second guessing what you might want to see. I mean, I know I paint a lot of what interests me most of the time anyway, but it's always nice to know that I'm painting something that people are actually interested in, as opposed to me just doing something because I like doing it. So yeah, if you can stick a comment in what you would like to see, you know, whether it be a particular app you want to look at, or a technique, or comparing the features of particular features of an app or anything like that, that would be quite nice to do, really. I'm getting very close to finishing this now. I think that is it. Just need to sign it. I mean, I could take this up more. I could do a little bit of shading just here perhaps. Just to define the wall. Oh, I've totally missed out the strings and the frets. Got to put them in. That's better. I'm going to sign it first. Get that out of the way. There we go. And let's do these frets. So I'm going to use the eraser. I'm not going to count them. I do know that each one, the gap between them gets a little bit bigger. Somebody's going to say, I'll count them really. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There should be 8 to the 12th fret. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I've done that wrong. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. That'll do. And on the 12th fret. There's a little hole. Then we've got 2 more. 1, 2, 2 more dots. There. And the strings. I promised to draw the strings in. This could be tricky. Oh, totally missed it. I want them to be organic, so I'm not using the straight edge. That string should be a bit thicker. They're a bit dodgy. Hang on. Those two are a bit dodgy, particularly. Oh, still a bit dodgy. So I'm using the eraser, not a white pencil. Oh yeah, that's better. And I'm not drawn the mother of pearl inlay. I want to do that really. And I'm just going to put in some squiggles all the way around and then hatch over it. I should have done this before I drew my strings really. So I'm just going to use the eraser to take those lines out there, and then I'm going to pop in a few. For the mother of pearl. Then when I've done that, I'm just going to hatch over the whole thing. Like that. There we are. I think that is it. So very quickly going over what I've done then, I've got big black areas that I began. Well, first of all, let's turn off the initial layer, which was the pencil drawing. So that's now gone. So I did this initial pencil drawing. Then I went in with really solid blacks to get all of those in. Then I went in with some cross hatching, horizontal, vertical, diagonal lines going in all directions. When I did the face, I followed the contours of the skull, I should say, and the contours of this bass guitar here. I followed the contours of that, so they weren't straight lines. The guitar, we've got these vertical lines in. I wasn't worried that they were straight at all. I wanted to get that kind of really organic look. A bit more etching on this speaker cabinet there, bit of leather work etched in, and much thicker lines in the foreground. And where I haven't got I don't want the detail to be distracting, they're almost abstract. You can see really done quickly on bold. So that is it. That is a study in etching with pen and ink, digitally of course. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, a big thumbs up as always is much appreciated, and if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, because I've got lots of videos like this and I would love to be sharing them with you. So hopefully I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.